So she was 4 years old and
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Now she's 11.
She's 10.
10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When's her birthday?
July.
Yeah, okay.
10.
So we still got a while. So then she's going to be, because she's, I know this sounds weird, but you would never know it. Does that sound bad to say?
No.
You would never know it.
I'm grateful.
Well,
Yeah.
even during
That's
the break,
wonderful.
she was saying, like, I feel so guilty because my baby is healthy and stuff, but that's the purpose of the research and stuff. That's why we need the money for it, so we can have more Amelias that are healthy and growing, and you would never be able to tell that she's had a cancer.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm so grateful that Amelia is doing so well. I mean, it's just, we're definitely lucky to be here near Duke and to have people that are raising money. Like the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation has been fabulous. They give so much to, and they're very specific about where they give their money to make sure it goes for children, and because there isn't a whole lot of money given to children's cancer research.
There's a lot of benefits that they'll have, and there are some that are well worth giving your money. But whenever I give my money to charities, I want to make sure it's going in the right place, and it's kind of hard to know exactly where it's going. What percentage is going here? How are they just giving out the money? But one thing that I love about the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation, they have a board, medical board. They sit down, these are doctors that know what they're doing, and they say, is this worth the research project that they are looking for? So these projects come and they say, hey, we need X amount of money to do this project for this research. And they say, yes, this is worth it. Yes, you've shown me that this is possibly an advance in this product. So I love that they do. And you were just kind of alluding to that, how wonderful that is. So your money that you give today will definitely go for the right reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are the best organization, I think, to give money to help find a cure for the brain tumors for children. Yeah. I mean, that they are, right on. So
866-975-CURE, 866-975-CURE. And my question is for Elliot, because I get teary-eyed sometimes when I'm in the car and I hear a song on the radio and it makes me think, I'd really like to dance with my daughter at her wedding to that song. And I know as a man who has a beautiful young daughter, you think the same thing. But then you hear brain tumor, and then what goes through your mind?
Oh wow, it's it's one of those things. It's one of those tough questions to answer. It's just unbelief, and my wife just told me a little while ago that she wanted to punch the doctor, and I didn't remember that part. But it's just one of those, the news that you don't ever want to hear. And as far as dancing with my daughter, yeah, I don't think I was thinking that far out. She was only 4 at the time, but obviously I would. It's one of those dreams of being a father. The news, it was something else. They told us to go straight to Duke and don't think about going home and going the next day. They said go right to Duke, just pack a bag, whatever you need, and go. And I remember my wife was crying on the way to the hospital, and I remember looking back at her, and my daughter was like, "What's wrong?" And she was so worried about, why was Mommy crying? And from that day on, I realized that we had to be strong, and we couldn't, lose it in front of her. And it was 9 months later that, we finished our treatments, that I was finally able to cry. That was a tough road.
I noticed you guys holding hands when we were off air. How has it brought you closer as a family? Like, how are things different now?
Well, it's definitely brought us all closer. I think we have such an appreciation for each day that we get. Nobody has any guarantees for tomorrow, but I think when you're truly faced with that life-threatening illnesses, or, you just truly appreciate that. And I think for Elliot and I think that I felt like for me to watch him go through this, I mean, my respect for him just went so much. I mean, not that of course I respected him before, but just to see the way he just loved and cared for our child, and he was so strong through the whole thing. I mean, it just made, in my mind, my respect for him just so much more, and my love for him. And you know, not to say there weren't stressful times, but I think we just really cling to each other to hold on. You know, we had just moved here from California, so we moved here with no family, no friends. We just were ready to get out of the LA area and start afresh, and it was only 6 weeks that we were here that this happened, and we had left California. I'd had the took her to her pediatrician. My sons, you know, all got their shots all up to date. Everything's great, and 6 weeks later, we went to a couple different doctors, and they didn't know what it was. They thought it was like a stomach bug or something, and finally, the one doctor that just clued in and diagnosed it told us that. I mean, I thought I had a perfectly healthy child 6 weeks before, and our whole world just changed.
Do you think it's ironic that you've moved here close to Duke University or Duke Hospital? And I mean,
no, I don't think it's ironic. It was completely, you know, God's hand in the matter, and at the time, of course, we had no idea. But to just be here at the Brain Tumor Center at Duke is just an incredible blessing. We love our doctor, Dr. G.
Everybody
if you're out there
loves that
listening,
man.
we love you, Dr. G.
because he really cares about the kids, and he really
He
believes in
does.
this research and fighting for the kids.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He is so kind and just brilliant, and you know, I just can't say enough about. I mean, all the doctors that we had. Her surgeon is amazing. He's actually in Austin, Texas now, but he removed Dr. George. He removed Amelia's tumor, and just love him.
Tell them about where it was, because we've heard so many parents today come in and say that it was the brain stem, and they couldn't do anything about this, couldn't do about that, but they were able to do this with Amelia.
Yeah. Do you want to tell that?
Yeah, they had to do emergency surgery and try to remove as much of the tumor as they could. It was touching the brain stem, and the brain stem is so sensitive you can't even nick it with your scalpel or whatever they use to cut out the tumor. So they had to leave a thin film of the cancer cells on the brain stem, which, you know, that's what the treatment afterwards following is the 30 rounds of radiation, followed by 4 rounds of high dose chemotherapy to get rid of those last cells.
With the radiation that they gave, because she was 4 years old, so what kind of radiation did she get?
Do you remember?
I don't think I know, but
It was the bad kind.
it's something you want to block out. It was of the brain and the spinal cord, because brain tumors tend to stay in the brain and the spine, and there was a boost, an extra boost of the radiation on the where the actual tumor was on the top of the brainstem. I don't remember the actual voltage or whatever, but I'd say the hardest thing when you have a 4-year-old going through
Stay
radiation,
still, right?
Yes, and you cannot make a 4-year-old stay still. So it was the most horrible thing. Every morning for 6 weeks, we had to drive to Duke, which we live, you know, across town. And but I'm glad we were that close, because some people are not that lucky. But we had to have her fully sedated. I mean, she under anesthesia, general anesthesia every day. So it's like having a surgery every day. We would walk in and we'd play her. They were great doctors too, but we knew all the anesthesia team because everyone was in there. But we'd play this little music, her little strawberry shortcake song, and they'd put some flavored lip gloss on the little mask, and she got so good at it. Because kids adapt to this. It's unbelievable. She'd hop up on the table. She'd hop up on the table and put the mask on. She's looking at me.
10. Yeah. She gave me the eye roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She put the little mask on, and we'd have the music going in the background, and all of a sudden she would just fall. And just watching her do that, oh my goodness, it was the hardest thing. And Elliot and I would just be sitting there just praying the whole time that they would do a good job, because that in itself is dangerous.